It took me years to figure out how to get a great focaccia. I had someone in Italy show me how to make focaccia, and I watched YouTube videos and this, that, and the other thing, and I finally managed to adapt various recipes into one that I think is absolutely not only delicious, but super, super easy. And I'm gonna walk you through the steps of mixing the dough, folding the dough, and baking it. And I'm telling you, it literally only takes a few minutes. So this is a no-knead dough, and you will have to start the day before, but literally the amount of work that you need to put into it is maybe 5 minutes, and you get this beautiful dough. So, are you ready to get started? All right, we're gonna start out with 500 grams, and this is 00 flour. You can use all-purpose flour for this. If you're off by a few grams, not the end of the world. But I'm gonna get it as close as I can. 500.21, I think that's good enough. Now I'm gonna add 10 grams of salt. And the beauty of using a scale is that you don't have to keep measuring using different implements. You can just keep adding. So you just wanna do it slowly. We want 10 grams. So we want this to go up to 510. There we go. Now we're gonna add 6 grams of active dry yeast. This is lighter than salt, so quantitatively it'll be a little bit more. Keep your active dry yeast in the refrigerator to keep it fresher longer, and just pay attention to the shelf life. I've kept my active dry yeast for a year or two, so if you bake a lot like I do, it should be fine. All right, so I'm gonna give this a stir, and I'm gonna add 2 tablespoons of olive oil. This is estate olive oil right from my trees. And the key to focaccia is the amount of hydration, meaning the ratio of flour to water. And for those big bubbles and that fluffy focaccia to happen, you want to have a high percentage of water. So I'm going in with 450 grams of water. In other words, we're talking about a 90% hydration for this dough. And we're just going to stir it. Sometimes I just do that with my hand. I don't even use a spoon. All right, so that is all we have to do. So we're gonna let this sit at room temperature for a couple of hours, but beforehand, I'm just gonna drizzle a little bit more olive oil on top, and we're gonna go do something else for a couple of hours. It's been about 2 hours or so for my focaccia, and I'm gonna put some olive oil on my hands, because what we're gonna do is reach in there and kind of fold the dough over into the middle like that. So I'm gonna do this 4 times. I'm gonna sprinkle a little bit more olive oil on top. And now we are gonna put this in the refrigerator for anywhere from 12 to 24 hours before we let it rise again in the pan and then bake it. Okay, it's the next day, and I want you to take a look at the dough. There's lots of little bubbles on top. We're now ready to put it into the pan, and so I've got one here. I like a pan that has sort of straight sides. We're gonna take this dough here. So we're just gonna plop it into this pan. Get my dough scraper, get every last bit even off my hand. Now what we're gonna do is we're gonna fold it over like this. And I'm gonna flip it, and now we're just gonna gently stretch it so that it fits the pan as much as we can. For a pan like this, if you want a really high focaccia, make a 750 gram batch. In other words, just increase it by 50% or so, and this will give us a nice rise, maybe up to about here. We're just gonna leave that alone for about 2 or 3 hours at room temperature. Now, of course, it all depends on the weather. I'm guessing today, because it's warmer, we're looking more like 2 hours versus 3 when it's colder. Okay, just because my estate olive oil is so special. Okay, we're gonna cover it with a towel, and we'll set it aside for 2 or 3 hours. So it's been about 2 hours, and this has risen. I'm gonna put a little olive oil on my fingertips, and I'm gonna start poking my fingers into the dough. And as you can see, as I do that, more bubbles are formed. And it's a jiggly, jiggly, wet dough. Look at that. Okay, now I'm gonna sprinkle Maldon flake salt all over it. You can season this however way you like, different kinds of herbs, sun-dried tomato, thin slices of zucchini. I'm gonna keep it really simple. This is rosemary from the garden, and I have some oregano here as well too. You can chop this up if you like, or you can just tear it up like this. Oven is ready to go. 350 degrees, my jiggly focaccia is going in the oven. And we'll set the timer for about 30 minutes. All right, let's take a peek. Pulling away from the side, so I think my focaccia is done. So I'm telling you, I make this focaccia all the time, and I even do trades for this focaccia. I can't make enough olive oil, I don't have enough trees, but a neighbor does. And so I trade focaccia for her olive oil. All right, well, let me have a bite. So tender, rich, full of flavor. I love this focaccia. You can make sandwiches out of it, just serve it sliced for dinner, dip it in soup, just eat it by itself. It's so good. I hope you give it a try. Thanks again for watching The Vegan Good Life with Miyoko, and I'll see you around again next time. Do I still have food on my mouth? You can't take me anywhere.